Hi guys, and welcome to episode 3 of reading South African celebrity birth charts without any pre-context. So in this episode, we are doing none other than Manaka Ranaka's birth chart. So let's get straight into it. So Manaka Ranaka was born on the 6th of April 1979. We don't know what time she's born, right? But regardless, she is a Leo moon, period. Now we know Leo is a fire sign, right? And so is Aries, and so is Sagittarius. So we call this a grand fire trine. Also, she has Pisces placements, she has a Cancer placement, and a Scorpio placement. So she has a grand water trine as well. Now, water signs hide their emotions, they internalize all their emotions and anything that they pick up from other people. But fire signs, they express their emotions. So that's the difference between fire and water signs. They're both emotional, just one expresses everything that's happening internally, and the other internalizes everything that happens internally. So the battles that she will probably go through, or that she probably goes through, is probably bottling her emotions, internalizing her emotions until she explodes. And speaking of exploding, she has her moon in Leo. Mind you, Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is the largest celestial body that we have in our solar system. So Leo, anything is going to it's going to overshadow most of your chart. So will Aries. So all the fire signs especially, they will overshadow or overshine your other placements. So you a lot of the times won't feel her Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio placements yet. You'll probably feel her Leo and her Aries placements more, especially if you don't really know her like that. So if you don't know her like that, you're gonna get a more especially with the Aries. I find Aries to be really intimidating. But with her Leo moon, I feel like you can somewhat sense that she's very goofy. She's very childlike, funny as well. I'm sure she's so hilarious, Well, she is hilarious. Just you'll get that side of her first. And then as you get closer to her, then you'll sense her Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer placements, her sensitivity, her softness, her family orientatedness, and we find people who have Jupiter in Cancer or Jupiter in the 4th house. These are the people who have big families, or if they don't already grow up in a big family, they want a big family. They want a family of like 10 kids, big house, whatever. Like, they have that family dream. But also having a Jupiter in Cancer, I know these are people who are very emotionally intelligent, because Jupiter is all about how we gain wisdom, our experiences. And having Cancer there, you gain experiences and wisdom from your family members. You gain emotional wisdom and wisdom on how to connect with people. So that's the vibe. Love that placement. And Cancer is exalted in Jupiter, as I said. But let's look at there's a little downfall here, because her Jupiter squares her Pluto in Libra. Anything squaring Pluto is going to bring destruction, transformation, and rebirth in that. So we see she has transformations in her wisdom, in her family members, right? Lots of changes at home. Probably experienced a lot of like moving around a lot, suddenly, especially like sudden changes at home. But also a similar aspect, not similar, but an aspect that also, further supports this is her moon squaring Uranus. Moon is all about our home, how we feel comfortable, our mother, how we were nurtured, how we choose to be nurtured, and how we nurture ourselves, and what makes us feel comfortable. Now, having a harsh aspect like a square with Uranus is all about changing, transformation. Well, not transformation, but sudden changes, unpredictability, the masses, like the human demographic, or maybe not even like human demographic, but like large demographics, large groups of people. That's Uranus. So when we have Moon making this aspect with Uranus, it brings changes at home, but it also brings strangers at home, So she probably experienced moving a lot and having to meet new people. And she's also experienced having people that she doesn't know at home, just strangers at home, but having to learn how to feel comfortable with that. But it's also just like when we speak about home, you mostly look for familiarity, aka your family members, your cousins, people that share the same bloodline as you. But having Uranus brings strangers at home. So this is probably something that she's had to growing up with people that she doesn't know, and having to feel comfortable with people that she doesn't know. So feeling comfortable in uncomfortable situations, like that's something that I usually see with people with moon squaring Uranus. And then another aspect that, made me kind of question her love life is her Venus opposing her Saturn, right? So Venus is in Pisces, Saturn is in Virgo. Anything making an aspect to Saturn is going to make that relationship with that other planet more serious. There's going to be a restriction in expressing that, and there's going to be it's going to be like an emphasis on business and how can we gain profit. Now with Venus is all about our assets, what we have, the things that we value, luxury, love, how we love, our love language. So having this harsh aspect with Saturn means that she probably has a lot of restrictions in love. Her love life has been trash. So what this means, usually if it was fire and air signs in that opposition, I would say that she would be the one in the position where she gets into relationships to use other people for their assets. But because it's feminine signs, Pisces and Virgo, she probably attracts people who use her and her assets for their own personal gain. And mind you that Venus is exalted in Pisces, so she has she has three, because Aries is exalted in the sun, Venus is exalted in Pisces, and Jupiter is exalted in Venus, right? And also Uranus is exalted in Scorpio, right? So with her Pisces exaltation in Venus, Pisces Venus gives so much, guys. Pisces Venus give a lot. And also Virgo and Pisces are the service signs. They live to be of service. Virgo with practicality. Virgos are of practical service. How can they serve you with your body? Pisces is of emotional service. So when she gets into relationships, she usually goes OD, like she goes ham with love, right? Now the situation with that, when you overgive, it kind of sets you up to be used, because people will obviously see you as somebody who's willing to give everything. So she could naturally just attract people who are users, opportunists. And we see that with Saturn, especially. Saturn is all about how we gain stability. So she may attract people who are trying to gain stability off of her, which is why she would prefer to be single, and which is why and with this specific aspect, I see it in people who prefer to be single, people who prefer to just like have little hookups, flings here and there, or people who prefer to date people who are emotionally unavailable so that they can still remain safe and not have to be so vulnerable and, put themselves in a situation where they risk being taken advantage of. Or these are people who will prefer being in unconventional relationships where like, it's polygamy or whatever, like shit like that. But being in like monogamous situations, it can bring a lot of frustrations in their love life, and it's all because of Saturn. We hate Saturn. We really do. Then also she has Moon in Leo conjuncting her Lilith. We know Lilith is like that energy that... Lilith is like basically a bitch. We don't like... Lilith and Pluto have a lot in common, and Mars, they're unrelatable, and Lilith is all about revenge and like, your femininity and your dark, deep urges. But also Lilith makes things very sensitive, and it makes you oversensitive to things. So she could be overly sensitive to people's judgment and overly sensitive to people's criticisms, because Leo is all about like shining and expressing herself. So she doesn't like people criticizing her expression. And you'll find that because she's a fire sign and moon, the way that she expresses herself is like a lot. Like she's kind of too much, like especially to people who have earth and air placements, she'll be too much. So if you make her feel like she's doing too much, she's going to internalize that, and then she's going to explode on you and then make you feel like, how dare you try to tell me how to express myself? You know what I'm saying? Because Leo is... How dare you tell a Leo moon to not express themselves? That's the vibe. But also people who have Leo and Pisces placements on the same chart like are so creative and really good in acting as well, because they know how to embody that emotional character and then express it, that fire water situation. So yeah, happy belated birthday, Manaka Ranaka. And if you guys would like a birth chart reading from me, hit me up and we will book a date and a time for your reading. And yeah, see you later. Bye.